So you just bought your Sovol Sv06 Ace Plus and you're running into some issues, or maybe you're looking for a video to give you a review on how this machine works and figure out if it's right for you. This is a video for you. I talk about some of the issues I ran into and a lot of the things that I like about this machine. So stay tuned. Alright, I just wanted to put this video out there to do a quick review on the Sovol Sv06 Plus Ace and talk quickly about some of the issues I had with this thing and some of the things that I did to fix it. I ran into a bunch of issues, and I actually returned the first one that I bought because I thought the machine itself was broken. Turns out it was a lot of the settings that I had in the way that I was slicing things. It was really my fault. So I'm going to talk about that. You can see I just finished printing. These are little wrench organizers for a toolbox, but I mean, you can see on the quality of these, they are pretty smooth. It prints really well vertical. It prints, I mean, you can see it's a little bit of lines on the edge there, but that's nothing. There's a hole in the bottom of this, so these are just supports that I gotta cut away. But overall, I'm super happy with this thing. I burned through pretty much an entire roll of filament before I got everything dialed in the way that it should be. I did end up buying a dehumidifier because I was having some humidity issues with the black roll of PLA. So I got white and pink. I've used about 2 rolls of PLA now, and I could definitely say that at least so far I'm very happy with it, especially for the price of it. We're gonna see how long it runs well. I'm sure after like 10 rolls of PLA, maybe this thing starts having more issues. But a couple of the issues I was having a lot of over extrusion. So the first thing I would recommend when you get this thing, I mean, it does everything automatically. So if you're thinking about buying one, I think this thing's great for that. The calibrations that it does, it measures the bed, it levels the Z motors or whatever, so that this thing is nice and level. It seems like it works great, and I mean, I've had no problems with printing anything. Every once in a while, I'll have a print wheel, it'll mess up, and you can see, and it'll just go crazy. But I think that's kind of par for the course with any 3D printing. This entire box is just scrap, tons of scrap of stuff that I printed and failed printing or wasn't happy with. Biggest thing is do a flow test. There's plenty of videos, especially with Orca Slicer. It's just you put it in the machine and there's like a drop down menu that says calibrate, and it'll have flow test in there. Do a flow test, and if you don't know how to do a flow test, there's plenty of YouTube videos out there. But the flow rate definitely needs to get turned down. Mine's at 0.93. By default, it's at 1. Definitely turn it down. Definitely do a test so you know what it needs to be turned down to. That was definitely a big problem I was having. And then there's also pressure advance, which I think is at 0.04. I don't think I think there is a calibration for pressure advance. I never ended up doing it. I found someone's form online where they said that they had put it at that. 0.04 seems like it's working perfectly for me. The bed itself, I do have isopropyl, I do clean it, but I printed, touched it, put my hands on it, and it never seemed like it had a problem with sticking to it. The other thing is when you have it running, to make sure you can change it in the settings of all your prints when you when you set up the G code or whatever, but make sure you have the right temperature for your PLA. I have it print all the time at 220, sometimes at 215. Some of the colored ones print better at 215 and the black prints out better at like 220. I think by default when I was slicing things, it was slicing at 210. So it wasn't getting hot enough, and it was over extruding. So I was just getting like crappy prints, or it would print, essentially because it was over extruding, it would print too high, and then sometimes when the nozzle would come back over something else, it would knock it off, and then that's how you get like spaghetti noodles, and it knocks the whole print like that off the plate, and then it's over here trying to print, but there's nothing it's printing on. So if you see that could be your problem. Overall though, one of the biggest things that I have that happens is I've been calibrating it pretty much after every print. It takes like 12 minutes. So I just recalibrate after every print, or especially after I turn it off. It doesn't have to be after every print, but once you turn it off, I turn it back on and I calibrate it every time. But every once in a while you get it where you calibrate it, and then when it goes to start to print, so it'll always print, at least if you have like the base settings, it'll always, I know you can change it, but it'll always essentially spit out a couple lines of PLA here just to like clear the nozzle, and then it goes and prints. Sometimes it'll do that further up, and the whole thing is like off track. It thinks it's spitting out PLA here, but it's actually printing here. And then when it goes to move the bed, you're gonna hear the motor like clicking and whining, and it's not good. So one, shut it off immediately so it doesn't like burn itself out trying to move the motor. And you go into, I know the screen's like really hard to see. There you go. Click this button, you go to system here at the top, and you go back from calibrate. Really can't see there you go. If you go back to calibrate, there's a setting right here that says, it's the second from the bottom, restore factory settings. If it ever does that, I restore factory settings. All it really does is it does like the first initial calibration that it did when you got it out of the box. And once you do that, it seems like it works fine every time. And I do that just every once in a while in general. It's like the first initial calibration, so it doesn't seem like a bad thing to do. But other than that, I mean, I've been really happy with the print quality. These things are nice and smooth. That line I put, that's a line that I actually put into the design. It's not like a failed edge or whatever, but I mean, I know this camera is not the greatest quality, but it definitely won't focus. But overall, I mean, I've only printed some of the things that I've designed. I haven't really printed other people's prints, and I didn't do some of the like I didn't do a benchy. I just did like flow tests, and for whatever reason, I think mine might have been returned. Either mine, the first one I had, either got returned, or they give you a file on the USB. That's another thing that I was having issues with. The little USB thumb drive that they give you. Every once in a while I would plug it in my computer and it would say error detected on drive, and like it would have you essentially recover the drive or like try to fix the drive. And usually it would, just click the button and it fixes it and it says it's fine. But I was wondering why it was doing that, and I have been lately, anytime I gotta unplug that USB drive, I'll usually turn the thing off, unplug it, and then bring it to my computer, and it doesn't have that issue. If it does have that issue though, you can just format the drive. It's going to delete whatever's on it. But if you have G-code files on it and it corrupts, I wouldn't try to print those. There's a chance that it messed up the G-code files. I just reformat the whole drive and kind of start over. Make sure you have backups of all your G-codes just in case that happens. I'm sure if you get either a better thumb drive, because I'm sure that one's like a cheap, crappy one. It's the one that comes with this, or it could just be because I'm unplugging it with it on, that it usually seems like it's when it has that issue. So yeah, definitely flow test, thumb drive issues, and over extrusion and pressure advance. Those few things made everything print great for me. I was printing 0.2 layer height, and this is at 0.15 layer height, and it prints perfect. So if you're having any other issues with yours, I mean, leave a comment and I'll try to help you guys out. Because I was definitely running into all kinds of things, and Reddit and everywhere else I looked didn't really help. But I think a lot of this stuff is just stuff that normal, or at least not people who know 3D printers would know how to do all this stuff anyways. It seems like it's pretty common to have to calibrate all those steps to get your 3D printer running. But I kind of bought this thinking that almost everything would be automatic, and it is. Almost everything is automatic. You don't have to level your bed. You don't have to do the Z height calibrations. It does it automatically. Pretty much does everything automatically. The only thing that you have to do yourself is like flow test and flow calibration. But probably I would assume that 0.93 and 0.04 for pressure advance would be good settings for everyone to try. It seemed like it worked great for mine, and you obviously do a flow test after you punch those numbers in and take a look at the different tiles and figure out if that's close, if it's not, whatever. But yeah, that was just my experience with it. Overall, this is a great buy for the price that it is. And I mean, I'm two rolls of filaments in and no issues yet. Obviously I'm going to keep printing stuff, and we'll eventually see, and I'm selling these, so I got to make sure that they come out in great quality, and they have been. I've had no issues. Tolerances seem good. You can see like this is nice and thin, and this thing's nice and strong. Yeah, that's it.